Going on, everyone? John Matrix here. Hope you're having yourselves a wonderful day wherever you're at and whenever you're watching this. Today we're going to be jumping into the SCP universe again with the Vulcan. This is going to be SCP-035, Possessive Mask Keter, mind-affecting / sentient SCP by the Vulcan. This is a requested video for me to take a look at, and truth be told, I'd actually gone through and done this video, and as I went to review the recording, apparently halfway through the video my mic cut out, and so we're going to be doing this again for a second time, and hopefully my microphone won't cut out this time. I don't know really what caused it or what happened, but it just decided to poop out, we'll say. So anyway, so yeah, we'll go through. I've actually, I've already seen this, but we'll go through it again here, and I'll try to rehash my thoughts as best I can as I go through it again. So again, this is SCP-035, Possessive Mask Keter, mind-affecting / sentient SCP by the Vulcan. Links will be down below in the description as always to the original video without my commentary and reaction, and to the Vulcan's channel. Please do me a favor, click those links. If you enjoy this video, give the video a like, and if you enjoy the Vulcan's content and you're not already subscribed to him, please do me a favor, go over there and hit that sub button on his channel. He definitely deserves love. He makes a lot of wonderful content for the SCP universe, puts a lot of work into his videos with his voice acting, etc. So please do me the favor and show the man some love. With all that said, let's jump into this here and watch this video. The Possessive Mask.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Miller. And the SCP we're going to be looking at today is SCP-35. Object Class: Keter. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-35 is to be kept within a hermetically sealed glass case no fewer than 10 centimeters thick. This case is to be contained within a steel, iron, and lead-shielded room at all times. Doors are to be triple locked at all times, with the exception of allowing personnel in or out. No fewer than 2 armed guards are to be posted at any time. Guards must remain outside at all times and are not allowed within the containment room under any circumstances. A trained psychologist is to remain on site at all times.
I found that intriguing when I first went through this. The trained psychologist had to be on here.
At any time. SCP-35 must be moved to a new sealed case every 2 weeks. The previous case must be disposed of via SCP-101, as it shows no adverse reactions to SCP-35's corruption.
That initially intrigued me as well, the fact that it had to be moved to a different case every few weeks, and that only disposing the case that it was in via another SCP, so that it's not affected by its corruption. I found that also very interesting.
Anyone who comes into contact with SCP-35...
I don't remember what SCP-101 is, if I have even looked that up, so that would be one that I would have to probably look up and see exactly what it is.
When it is in possession of a host, is to be given an immediate psychological evaluation. Description: SCP-35 appears to be a white porcelain comedy mask, although at times it will change to tragedy. In these events, all existing visual records, such as photographs, video footage, even illustrations of SCP-35, automatically change to reflect its new appearance.
I'd wondered if... I had initially wondered if when its appearance changes from, the smiley face to a frown or upset face or whatever, if someone viewing it, if that affected them in some kind of way, but that didn't seem to have gotten answered in this.
Highly corrosive and degenerative viscous liquid constantly seeps from the eye and mouth holes of SCP-35. Anything coming into contact with this substance slowly decays over a period of time, depending on the material, until it has decayed completely.
Which is very strange, right?
Contaminant.
Like, one of the things that I got from watching this initially was like, what is this thing's goal? What's its end game, if there even is one? Like, it's a mask. It seems to want to be worn, but whatever wears it decays into nothing. So, what's the reason behind that?
Glass seems to react the slowest to the effects of the item, hence the construction choice of its immediate container. Living organisms that come into contact with the substance react in much the same way, with no chance of recovery. Origin of the liquid is unknown. Liquid is only visible from the front and does not emerge or is even visible from the other side.
Which is also interesting. So, like, if you wear the mask, it still degrades you, even though the liquid only comes from the front, right? It doesn't come from the back.
1.5 to 2 meters of SCP-35, or in visual contact with it, experience a strong urge to put it on. When SCP-35 is placed on the face of an individual, an alternate brainwave pattern from SCP-35 overlaps that of the original host.
See, my thought from this is I wonder if it's a situation where, like, that's what it's trying to do. Like, it does whatever it can to get someone to put it on, and then when it like erases their brainwave, you know, is it like taking their soul? Like, you know, is it eating their soul, trying to trap their soul into it, kind of a thing?
Effectively snuffing it out and causing brain death to the subject. The subject then claims to be the consciousness contained within SCP-35. The bodies of possessed subjects decay at a highly accelerated rate, eventually becoming little more than mummified corpses. Nevertheless, SCP-35 has demonstrated the ability to remain in cognitive control of a body experiencing severe structural damage, even if the subject's body literally decays to the point where motion is not mechanically possible. No effect is found to be had when placed on the face of an animal. Conversations with SCP-35 have proven to be informative. Researchers have learned various details about other SCP objects and history in general, as SCP-35 claims to have been at many monumentous events. SCP-35 displays a highly intelligent and charismatic personality, being both amiable and flattering to all those who speak with it. SCP.
So as we go through this video and you learn more about it, at the end of the video when I initially watched it, one of my thoughts was I had wondered if this thing was like a Davite creation, some kind of Davite sorcerer or warlock or whatever had created it, and maybe its soul was like locked away in this mask. You know, because it's is able to read people, learn things about them. It has apparently telepathy and can get into people's minds, things like that. And there's also stuff that we learn further, which I'll comment on as we get through it, that it does that makes me think that as well. So, yeah.
P-35 has scored on the 99th percentile on all intelligence and aptitude tests administered to it and appears to have a photographic memory. However, psychological analysis has discovered SCP-35 to possess a highly manipulative nature, capable of forcing sudden and profound changes to interviewers' psychological state. SCP-35 has proven to be highly sadistic, prompting some to commit suicide and transforming others into near mindless servants with linguistic persuasion alone. SCP-35 has stated that it has intimate knowledge of the workings of the human mind and implied that it can change anyone's views if given enough time.
So yeah, it understands how the human brain works and how to manipulate it in whatever way it wants to.
Additional, SCP-35 was found sealed in a crypt in an abandoned house in Venice in 18... Addendum 3501. SCP-35 has been found to be able to possess anything that has a humanoid shape,
which is also fascinating.
Corpses and statues. SCP-35 has been able to motivate all into movement, removing the need to expose live subjects to SCP-35. Still, anything it possesses inevitably decays into motionlessness.
It's interesting that it will work on anything humanoid shaped, whether it's inanimate or an actual person, but it doesn't work on animals. I believe at one point in time in this it says that they tried to put it on animals and it didn't work. I thought. Maybe I'm incorrect. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Because I also at one point in time are like, what happens if we put it on 682? And 682 for sure is not a humanoid. So, yeah, it's interesting that it's able to manipulate inanimate objects as well and get them to move and do what it can until it, you know, they decay out.
Addendum 3502. SCP-35 has facilitated an escape attempt, convincing several of the research staff to aid it in its bid for freedom. Insurrection failed. All staff that have been in contact with SCP-35 have been terminated, and mandatory psychiatric evaluations have been implemented for all personnel coming into contact with SCP-35.
See, to me, the biggest thing about this is like, what really is its end game supposed to be? You know, it's manipulating people, trying to get free. Why? What is the reason? Again, is it like just trying to get out in the world so that people can wear it and it can manipulate people into doing things? Is it trying to get into the hands of as many people as possible so when they wear it, it can take their soul? If that is in fact what it's doing, you know, is it just like some kind of agent of chaos that just wants to, you know, do whatever? You know, I had initially, when I had first kind of went through this, I had wondered if it was kind of an Easter egg SCP that related to the Jim Carrey movie, The Mask. And it kind of does in certain ways, I guess you could say, but more of like a horror twist because, you know, like in the movie The Mask, when Jim Carrey puts it on, it changes his personality into something else, but it like more really like enhances what's already there, whereas this will just wipe it out and replace it in general. So yeah, I think the biggest question that I would have from this SCP is like, what overall is its end game, if it even has one? You know, that kind of a situation.
Addendum 3503. It has been determined that SCP-35 is capable of telepathy, whether or not it possesses a host. Even
see, that thing, that's pretty crazy too.
Of others, and using
the knowledge it finds
to its advantage. Extreme caution is advised when choosing subjects to converse with SCP-35.
That's one of the reasons why I wonder if it's got like a Davite soul in it or something like that. At some point in time in this video, they also bring up that it knows, you know, various languages. It knows like Greek, Italian, a few of Latin, a couple other languages, and Sanskrit. And so it's like Sanskrit's one of the earliest languages that we know of. So like, again, if that's true and this thing has been around for that long, you know, who knows who it originally belonged to or who created it.
SCP-35 has expressed interest in other SCPs, most notably SCP-4715 and SCP-682. Dr. has expressed worry that should SCP-35 bond with either, their regenerative qualities would negate its corruption and give it a permanent host.
Yeah, that is pretty intriguing in itself. Let's see, what is the other one that it's hang on here. It was 682 and what? 4715. 4715. I'm trying to remember. I don't know if I've gone through this one or not. Yeah, okay. I don't think I have gone through 4715 yet. I don't remember off the top of my head, but 682 obviously is, I feel like it would be a situation where when it were to initially be put on 682, it might wipe out 682's like brain waves at that moment, but I feel like 682's personality would eventually regenerate and come back and overtake the masks, or the mask and 682's personality might fight each other or potentially kind of merge into one kind of a thing. I don't know. It would be interesting to see how that would go. Maybe it would be like a multiple personality syndrome where the mask and 682 would fight over who has control of the body, because like 682 is like so ridiculously resilient that obviously whatever the stuff is that decays at 682 would eventually become immune to it. But it's just what would happen to like its personality. Would that be erased I feel like, again, like I feel like it would initially, but eventually it would like regenerate back. And then who knows what would happen.
Addendum 3505. After several more escape attempts, after reviewing SCP-35's incident record, High Command has ordered that it be permanently sealed within the facility and prohibited from being allowed any more hosts.
One of the things that I'd wondered as well was like, you know, it seems like the Department of Abnormalities, you know, I know that not everything in the SCP universe is connected, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, it seems like the Department of Abnormalities has some pretty serious stuff contained in a lot of cells down there. And whatever facility seems to be pretty capable. Like, would they be able to just seal this in one of their cells and just lock the door and throw away the key kind of situation? You know what I mean? Would anything they have down there be immune to whatever this thing does?
Several personnel have protested against this, with some even erupting into violence. As a direct result, all personnel that have come into contact with SCP-35 have been terminated. Going forward, all personnel that deal with SCP-35 are to be rotated frequently, and contact is to be limited, even to its dormant state, to as little as possible. Addendum 3506. Personnel within 10 meters of SCP-35 have recently reported feeling unease, stating that they can hear unintelligible whispering. Several others have suffered from severe migraines. Object has been monitored, but there is no change in its dormant behavior.
I feel like that's it,
no
like trying to
the motion to
telepathically,
reinstate
like
SCP-35's host privileges
interject things into people's minds,
if only on a temporary basis, to discover these new changes in the object's behavior. Denied. Addendum 3507. The walls of SCP-35's containment cell have suddenly begun secreting a black substance. Tests on the substance have revealed it to be human blood, although highly contaminated with several foreign and unknown agents. Substance is corrosive, having a pH of 4.5, and prolonged exposure to the walls has proven to be detrimental to their structural integrity. More notably, it seems to be forming patterns on the walls. Several segments seem to be paragraphs in various languages, including Italian, Latin, Greek, and Sanskrit. Translation is pending. Other segments appear to be diagrams depicting ritualistic sacrifice and mutilation, often for the arcane benefit of the person committing them.
See, and that's one of the reasons why I wonder if this is like some kind of Davite, like, is this like a phylactery for like a Davite warlock or sorcerer or something like that? You know what I mean? Just because it knows all these languages and it has so much knowledge and, you know, is very charismatic and understands, you know, humans and, you know, how they work and how to manipulate them. So obviously, you know, plus all the languages, that would be someone from like potentially a very long time ago. Then top that off, it's depicting, you know, various kind of sacrificial rituals and things like that, which is something that a lot of the Davites did. You know, they did a lot of blood magic and rituals and sacrifices. So that just, I wonder if that's a situation with that. It could obviously have nothing to do with that at all. But if this is a mask that knows Sanskrit, I mean, maybe it could have gotten that information from other people, you know, because again, it could be a situation where whoever wears the mask, their soul and knowledge and consciousness then gets brought into and locked into the mask, kind of a situation. So it might just learn all of these things from all the various people that has been trapped in it, or its soul and knowledge has been taken, you know, who knows.
Several staff members have been shocked to note that all of the sacrifices bear an uncanny resemblance to various personnel and their loved ones, often in conflicting positions. Researchers, while in the room examining these newly formed patterns, have complained of hearing loud whispering and high-pitched, unnerving laughter at irregular intervals. Personnel in the section working daily near and around SCP-35's containment unit have suffered catastrophic morale damage, with an all-time high in suicide rates in staff in that area, whether or not they have ever had contact with SCP-35. The only change in SCP-35's dormant behavior is regarding its contained glass case. Degradation of the case has increased to a high degree, enough so that the glass will occasionally shatter, causing a wide dispersal of SCP-35's contaminant.
Don't want to be around when that happens.
Quite often at the most inopportune times.
Of course.
So far, resulting in 6 casualties and 3 fatalities of both research and cleanup staff.
Bro, like, that'd be one of the worst jobs to be having to clean up this shit, you know what I'm saying? Which I do have something I want to comment on later towards the end of this video. With regards to what people are seeing in the containment of this stuff.
Addendum 3508. In light of the mass suicide and homicide of the members of the research team tasked with translating the passages garnered from SCP-35's containment cell, the morale damage in the area, and general loss of staff dealing with SCP-35 to either death or insanity, it has been decided to coat the inner and outer walls of its containment cell with SCP-148, which has proved well in the containment of SCP-132, see Document 132-01, in order to hopefully block out the high levels of negativity being emitted by SCP-35. Addendum 3509. The use of SCP-148 has worked well, causing morale and suicide rates to return to near pre-SCP-35 rates.
Yeah, I don't know what 148 is. I don't think that's one that I've gone through yet. I was trying to kind of look it up briefly, but didn't really give kind of a quick description of what it is, so I'll have to look it up later.
However, the material appears to facilitate the negativity within its cell, causing a veritable greenhouse effect.
Yeah, inside. It just keeps amplifying itself.
Personnel
since
inside the cell have
negativity can't get out.
Heavy sense of dread, fear, anger, and general depression, as well as hearing a constant, nearly inaudible whispering upon immediate entry. A prolonged stay causes severe migraines, suicidal tendencies, heavy hemorrhaging of blood vessels around the eyes and inside the mouth and nose, general hostility to others, and for the whispering to increase to almost deafening volumes, intersected by constant mocking laughter. Exposure of more than 3 hours inevitably results in the subject falling into a deep psychosis and attempting to harm either themselves or others. Most spoke Latin or Greek, despite the fact that several did not previously know how to speak said languages beforehand.
So again, like, I wonder if it's a situation where, you know, it's able to connect people telepathically. Is it a situation where all the various consciousnesses and souls that have been taken in this thing, if that indeed is what's happening, are then like being projected out of it or trying to escape out of it? And so they're getting in other people's minds. That's where they're hearing all these sounds and noises and learning different languages and things like that. And why they're having headaches, because there's all these different, you know, consciousnesses stuck in this thing that are affecting various people that are, you know, trying to get into their minds, etc., etc. Or is this thing just cursed and it's just, this is what it does to people?
The presence of blood in both word and diagram formations has increased disproportionately, the walls becoming cluttered and the formations beginning to overlap each other. The substance has proven to be both difficult to clean and even more corrosive than was originally recorded, with a pH of roughly 2.4. General estimation gives the current walls a life of 2 months before they will need replacement. It has become...
You know, that's got to start running up some money, you know? When you have to replace the walls every so often, like, it'll start becoming a problem.
Becoming gradually more and more difficult to contain SCP-35, and the debate to reinstate its host privileges has once again come up.
Now again, like, I wonder if it's a situation, like, I'd thought about the architect SCP or whatever that keeps, like, creating different universes. Could you just, like, send in a mobile task force in there with this mask and just throw it inside there and contain it inside that? Because then there's, like, infinite universes that are being created inside there. So that would effectively, you know, contain this mask and keep anyone from being able to do anything, you would think. But maybe its corruption would be able to destroy and eventually take over the architect thing, you know?
Denied. Addendum 3510. The walls, ceiling, and floor of SCP-35's containment cell have now been completely saturated in blood. All personnel entering and guarding the area must wear full hazmat protection suits. Constant cleaning efforts are being instated. Addendum 3511. The magnitude, intensity, and reoccurrence of the phenomena that occur within SCP-35's containment cell have increased to an alarming degree. The cell door has been known to become locked of its own accord while personnel are inside and unable to be opened for a period of time.
Yeah, I would definitely be requesting a transfer to a different facility. I would not want to be dealing with this shit. Nope.
Appendages form out of the larger puddles of blood and often attempt to grab or harm personnel near them.
Nope.
Blurry apparitions have started appearing to staff.
Nope. Doors locking themselves, people getting trapped in. You got weird ass tentacles coming out of the blood trying to grab people. You know, this thing, little apparitions following it. Nope.
Electronic devices now no longer work inside the cell.
We're getting into like poltergeist levels of shit.
Though there is no physical reason why it doesn't work, forcing those entering to use non-electric based light sources.
And you can't even see.
Cleaning measures are having no discernible effect on the cell, and the walls are degrading at a very high rate, forcing them to be replaced within a week at best, although the blood makes it nearly impossible to properly achieve this. SCP-35 may have to be moved to a new cell entirely, with the old one sealed off and disengaged from the rest of the facility.
Like I said, throw it down to the Department of Abnormalities, let them deal with it.
I think that about does it for today. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you, Dr. Miller.
You still are.
Thank you.
And you are all dismissed. Goodbye.
This article is written by Kane Pathos Crow, 26 July 2008. Link in description. So yeah, I mean, this SCP left me kind of with more questions, obviously, than answers. Really, what is the SCP? What's its goal, if it even has one? Is it alive and sentient in some kind of way? Or is it just like an object of chaos that just tries to manipulate people to get it to do whatever random things? Is it, you know, taking people's consciousness, soul, whatever, and like taking it in it and eating them in some way, or trapping them in there? And that's what all the voices and things are, and why everyone eventually around it starts having migraines and headaches and hemorrhaging, because they have all these different consciousnesses and personalities that are entering their mind telepathically and disrupting them and what they're doing. Again, a question like I had mentioned, you know, is this some kind of like phylactery for some kind of crazy Davite sorcerer or warlock, which is why it has all these, you know, ritual sacrifices, you know, being projected on there, and why it has so much, you know, knowledge, because it's something that's been alive for thousands of years and maybe even more, you know, et cetera, et cetera. I also, you know, had the idea or theory that the things that people are seeing, you know, with its walls and everything being corroded, et cetera, it's just projecting those images into people's minds, forcing them to see it. What they're seeing isn't really happening, but it's like its way of getting them to get close to it, you know? Like, every time things seem to get worse, the question of bringing up allowing it to be worn by someone or something gets posed, and it keeps continuously getting denied. So like, is it trying to like get people to think that things are just going to continuously getting worse until you let someone put it on and then it'll reset, kind of a situation? You know what I mean? Is it trying to get them to think it's getting worse and worse, and more people have to get in there to clean it, giving it more opportunity to have something happen where it can be freed, it can try to escape, kind of a thing? But it's really like the room isn't really bleeding. The images that are being projected on the walls aren't real. They're just mental images that it's telepathically, you know, making people see. You know, is that what's going on? You know, I don't know. Like I said, this SCP kind of left me with a lot more questions really than answers as to what it is, what its end goal is, are, you know, the things that people are seeing real, etc., etc. But it's a very interesting tale. Very interesting tale about a very, you know, crazy, chaotic item. You know what I mean? Like, who created it? Why? Obviously, also, I had wondered if it's like a situation that's kind of like an observer effect, because it was sealed in a crypt in Venice, and it was found, I guess, presumably sometime in 1800s down there. So, you know, it's been out in the wilds of the world at some point in time, and it didn't, like, it wasn't a situation where its corruption like spread out to a mass area and affected a great amount of people, kind of a situation. So is it like an observer effect where when people aren't around it or within a certain radius of it, it's essentially inert and doesn't do anything, and it's only really starts to affect things when people are around it, you know, again, making people think they're seeing, hearing, feeling things that aren't real, kind of a situation? I don't know. So again, very interesting one, but just left me with a lot more questions than answers. So but yeah, that was SCP-035, Possessive Mask Keter, mind affecting / sentient SCP. Again, I apologize that this wasn't technically my first genuine reaction to the video, as I'd gone through it before, but partway through my mic cut off, so we kind of had to do it again, even though I watched through the entirety of the video once before. But I think I pretty much brought up and rehashed my thoughts as I went along, so hope you guys enjoyed the video still. But again, my apologies that it wasn't a genuine, like, first viewing reaction kind of a situation, but sometimes this stuff happens. But this was a requested video, so I definitely wanted to get it out for you guys, and it was still interesting nonetheless. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, links for this video will be down below in the description to you know, the original video without my commentary reaction, and to the Vulcan's channel. Please do me a favor, click those links if you enjoyed this video of his. Go over there and give it a like. And if you enjoy the Vulcan's content and you're not already subbed to him, please do me a favor, hit that sub button on his channel. He's a great content creator, puts a lot of work into his videos, and definitely deserves the support. Please do me a favor of doing that. If you'd like to join us when we do these reactions live, you know, there is a join button underneath the video, as well as a link in the description to YouTube memberships, benefits, and tiers that I offer. If you've been around the channel for a while and you're considering taking your support to the next level, take a look at those and see if any of them have any kind of interest for you. You can get early access to videos, priority in any kind of reaction requests, sub Discord channel, you know, stuff like that. So if any of that has any interest for you, please take a look, see if it, you know, you would like to take your support to the next level. But regardless, thank you guys very much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like and a sub. It's the best way to support the channel and help it grow, and you know, it's free, so a win-win for both of us. So thank you guys very much for watching. Have yourselves a wonderful day. We'll see you on the next